say we could have put each other in a headlock for the thumbnail, but we would have been covered up with a poster on the thumbnail. It would have looked really weird with something like blocking the two of us. Yeah. What are they doing?
Oh God.
I'm Brad Jones. Welcome to our review of Fighting with My Family. This is Ryan Mitchellly, and a little bit of house cleaning first. We got a sale going on that started Tuesday. It's going on until Sunday, so you still got plenty of time. All of our DVDs are $5. If you go to walkawayentertainment.com, everything from Jesus Bro to the Snob Movie to the uncut DVDs, all that Lloyd Season 1, they're just $5 each. So head over to walkawayentertainment.com for that, or if you want the digital download, that's at thecinemasnob.com. I know the Snob Movie is a digital download, so is Jesus Bro.
Snob Movie, Jesus Bro, and our first film, Paranoia, are all on there. And you use the checkout the promo code SNOB1, and that'll make it so that the movies are all $5.
Yeah, that'll get you $5 on those two. Plus, March 8th through the 10th, we're going to be at Wizard World Cleveland. Myself, Ryan, Laura's going to be there as well. We'll be there all weekend long, so come see us there in Cleveland. Then in April, we're doing Wizard World St. Louis as well. But go to wizardworld.com to get tickets for Cleveland or St. Louis, and use our promo code for that, Cinema20, and that gets 20% off of tickets. So yeah, I saw How to Train Your Dragon 3 a couple weeks ago. We had an advance review of that, so this is the only movie that I got tonight.
Hey, so better than what a couple weeks ago you did, 4 movies in a night, you know?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. Yeah.
It's an endurance race is what that is.
I was there when this place opened. I was here when it closed, too. I was here after it closed. That day I was here longer than the employees were.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, this is the only one I got this weekend, but check out me and Gino's review of How to Train Your Dragon 3, because that's also posted as well. And speaking of Gino, he was really wanting to go see this one with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's a big wrestling guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'm sure he'll love it when he sees it.
Oh, yeah, totally. He was like, I called dibs on this one. I called dibs on this one. I'm like, dude, yeah, totally. And it was like the weekend that he had his kids.
Okay.
He's like, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen.
I sure hope he's not expecting to go and he's going to be mad that I'm
Oh, shit.
No, that is totally like a WWE SmackDown moment. It's like, oh no, there's Gino! Oh, Ryan has no idea what's happening here.
Whoa! This was unexpected. So
as he slams me in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Like,
I felt bad because he told me, he's like, if you could put it off till like Sunday or midweek, I probably could. And I'd be like, normally I could, but it's the only movie coming this weekend.
Sorry, Gino.
And then bad luck on Irving's part too, because I was like, oh, I know Irving knows a little bit about wrestling. So I contacted Irving. He goes, I could probably do a late show. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sure that's fine. But the only theater in town that does late shows is the only theater that this movie wasn't playing. Like, sorry, man. So you and I don't watch wrestling, and we're here reviewing Fighting with My Family.
Well, I have to say, as someone who didn't really, I mean, it's a sporting, event, just like any other type of sport. So certain people have their sports they really like. Wrestling, which is never really a big one for me.
Back in the 80s, I watched a bit of it.
Sure. But it's not that I hate it or something.
No, same here.
I never really got into it.
Same here, because that's not me.
Yeah.
Me saying that I don't watch it or really know much about it at all, to be perfectly honest. That's not me thumbing my nose at it or anything like that, because like I have a tremendous amount of respect for it.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. I do too. I had a lot of friends growing up who absolutely loved it. They were totally into it. They watched it all the time.
Yeah.
I just never really got into it. And that was just mostly just based on my exposure and just that sort of thing. So yeah, I agree. Totally respect it as a sport, respect it as as grand theatrics and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just love Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
He's a guy who, obviously I discovered him as he became a movie star.
Yeah.
But I really like him, and so he produced this movie, and he's in it as himself.
The first that I really noticed him was because I never really watched wrestling, so it wasn't until the freaking second Mummy movie, really.
Right. The Scorpion King. Where he did an appearance as a Scorpion King in the second movie, and then he did the Scorpion King.
And then he did the Scorpion King. But no, I mean, even with that going into this movie, not watching WWE. I mean, back the last time I watched wrestling, it was the WWF.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
sure, right.
So
the World Wildlife Foundation.
yeah, it was when they were
Well,
literally
that panda has no idea what's coming. The giraffe just got
bear
him.
wrestling. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Whoa, a package of snakes just got dropped in the ring. It was a very dangerous time back then.
It was the 80s.
So
wasn't it?
even with really not knowing much backstory on this at all, that who the movie is about, I really loved the fuck out of this movie.
I did too.
I loved
really
this
did.
movie.
This was it was well made. It was a
Yeah.
really good story. And I mean, obviously, because it's a real person, this real happened, and she was very much involved in the production of this film. So getting to tell this story, and then Stephen Merchant, who was the director,
Who's the writer and director of it.
who's so funny, and he has he has a cameo in it too.
Yeah.
which he has a really funny cameo. So I really like his work too.
Yeah.
For the most part, I really like his work, and so him telling the story, and it was funny.
Yeah.
It had great heart. Yeah, it was just a really good movie.
There was it makes sense family is in the title because sitting behind us
Oh yeah.
was an entire family of like a couple parents and then like 12 kids behind us. And in any other movie and with any other kids, this probably would have annoyed me because they were kicking seats.
Yeah,
they
they
were
were talking during
They
the
were
movie,
talking
yeah.
and making a lot of noise, but they were honestly cracking me up through watching this
They were
movie.
cracking me up too. There's a great moment where Paige is talking to her brother, and they're talking about this embarrassing thing happened at one of the
Yeah.
things where his penis falls out of the
Yeah.
and like he said, nothing, no matter what happens to you, nothing will ever be as bad as when that happens to me. He says, then you're right. She says, my penis won't fall out, and we hear a little girl behind us go, but she doesn't have one.
Yeah. Like,
Like, oh boy,
if only every annoying kid audience could be this audience.
it could be
It's
this
like,
funny. Yeah,
There's
they,
a part
they
where
said some funny things back there.
yeah, they really were. They were into it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, so you've seen this in the trailer where Dwayne Johnson calls her dad, who's played by Nick Frost.
Right.
And they have this kind of inspiring moment on the phone call, and then they hang up. Kid behind me is just like, I'd like to get that phone call.
Yeah.
It sounded so hopeful and sad at the same time. These kids were really confused during the trailers too, because it was a weird mix of trailers in front of this.
Because there wasn't a lot of swearing. And,
No.
and like the violence was, it was the type of violence you see in wrestling. So like,
Yeah.
it's the more choreographed kind of fight skills that they do in wrestling. So it is violent, but also not necessarily like bloody or anything specifically
Yeah.
meant to hurt or pain sort of thing. So it wasn't really a kids movie, but I can definitely see it being a family movie, and the idea that the theme so strongly is family.
I think families should go see this, absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely,
The
yeah.
trailers were a mix of stuff like Wonder Park and some other kids' movies, but then also like indie dramas.
Yeah.
These kids didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
Just crickets behind us on a couple of those trailers. So this is a very, very funny movie as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Like, it's an inspiring film, certainly. Like it gets to points where she'll be in the ring, or it'll be part of her story where she's like maybe choking or falling behind a bit. Towards the end, she has a couple of moments where it looks like she's kind of choking, and you just kind of feel it in your gut
You
when
do,
this is
yeah.
happening. It's actually pretty intense. And the way this family interacts with each other in the movie, like they feel like a real family in this.
Absolutely,
Like they
yeah,
are
yeah.
constantly giving each other shit, but in the way that families do.
Right.
Their chemistry between Nick Frost and Lena Headey is the parents.
yeah.
Their chemistry is amazing. Like it feels like
Me
these
too.
two have been married a
They're
long
great.
time.
Yeah, they're really, really great. Yeah.
And even it gets to a point. It's such a well-written movie. It's such a well-directed movie as well. And they early on they make these characters very funny and very likable. And it reaches a point halfway through this story where she's she's not mingling well with some of the other wrestlers. She's kind of lagging behind a bit on some of the training that they're doing, and it's reaching such a point where you're like, okay, I know how this story ends,
Right,
but damn,
Yeah,
like, how is this gonna turn around after this point?
Right, it's true, because I was like, I know who Paige is. I mean, she's one of the most famous WWE stars there's ever been. So like, I know who she is. I was like, it was kind of the same thing. I was like, I know she does become the champion.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're right. Like, how do we get from where we are right now? Because this is a pretty low point.
Yeah,
you know?
I was thinking that too.
And she does, and it's through the family. And that's the theme that is carried through so strongly by this. I mean, so many, other sports movies.
Yeah.
It's about the hubris of fame and of those sort of things, and you rise and then you fall, then you come back again, and those sort of things. This one was about the family, and that was absolutely the right choice to make.
Yeah, because we also simultaneously see, because her brother didn't get picked up,
right?
And so we also see the kind of lows that he's going through. Like, he's trying to keep it together at first, but he keeps getting more and more depressed. It's a point where it's like, dude, you got to start moving on.
Yeah.
But because we're also kind of seeing his story too, and there's both these kind of simultaneous arcs going on throughout the film. The movie also it plays with certain character cliches really well too, because there's a few girls that she's not getting along with when she's training, and at first they're portrayed as they're like ditzy and model, like the stereotypical model mean girls that you would see, but you find out more and more about them as the movie goes along, and they do humanize them quite a bit. Yeah. I enjoyed that about the film. Like,
right. And they no longer really become villain characters.
No.
Not that they ever specifically were.
That was really
they were
sweet.
definitely seen as antagonists to her. But no, you're right. It gives them story, it gives them depth, and they become very well filled out human characters, and it's done really well.
They all start working together too.
And they start working together.
It's really sweet, like seeing them all interact together. One person I really loved in this movie was Vince Vaughn.
Right, yeah, we hadn't gotten to him, and I was wanting to think, Vince Vaughn.
And I love Vince Vaughn.
I do too. I do too. Yeah, he rose real fast and then did a couple of really bad movies and then disappeared.
We were at Unfinished Business or whatever that was called.
Oh my God, that movie, yeah. So I mean, but when he's good, he is great.
He's outstanding in this film. He steals his scenes in this film. How he is in this movie, like, he has great one-liners for one, and Vince Vaughn can deliver a great one-liner in his sleep. Like, and he does fantastic with that here. Like, the shit talking he's given too, certainly, but also the way he is in this movie is kind of like if they made this character an alcoholic, he'd be kind of like Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own.
Right, yeah.
Like a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Like he's a really likable character, and you can tell he really does care a lot for these people.
He does, and he's good at his job.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what's also interesting, is being someone who has not followed WWE, or so much, getting to kind of see the business of it, a little bit. Like they don't dwell on it, but I mean, really, it's him talking about as they pick people from these auditions and then these kind of farm leagues of the MXF or whatever it is, that and how they pick people and just like the very frank discussions of when her brother calls him back and keeps hounding him, and he says, "Listen, I'm just sorry." And it's not like he's not being evil. He's not being mean.
No.
He's just saying the truth of the matter is that, look, we didn't pick you.
Yeah.
You need to move on.
Because it feels like it's a call he's probably had to take a lot.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
As any casting director would have to do. Because I mean, effectively, that's what he is he's a casting director.
Yeah.
For this entertainment venue, which is WWE. But it's also the added layers of they have to be athletes, highly trained athletes. Because again, and it talks about this in the movie, which I appreciated. Yeah. Because I'm not somebody who's followed it his entire life.
Same.
They talk about, they look like they're beating the crap out of each other, and they are hitting each other, and they got to be tough enough to take a hit, but they're not deliberately hurting each other.
Well, I mean,
like really trying to cause serious damage. You know what I mean? Like, when they talk
it's
about
a kickboxer, they're putting their hands in glass and ripping each other's flesh off.
Right? Yeah, they're not actually trying to kill each other. Like they're hitting each other, but they're athletes. They're trained athletes, and they know what they're doing.
Absolutely. But I mean, They are taking some. There's a funny scene early on where there's a guy talking to Nick Frost, and Nick Frost is on the phone negotiating what kind of hits the guy can take, and he asks him if he could take a hit in the face with a garbage can lid, and the guy's like, I don't know, so he just punches him right in the face with this lid, and then throws a bowling ball into his junk, and the guy's
sitting there looking at it, the guy goes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, it's good. We'll do it. 60 quid. There's a moment too where it's like where they're it's one of the training montages, and Vince Vaughn has this thing where if you want to tap out from these exercises, he has a horn, and you have to squeeze the horn whenever if you want to if you know you need to stop.
Yeah.
So one girl she's about to, and then Paige is like kind of the voice who's like kind of coaching her through this, so it's almost like this good angel, bad angel thing between Vince Vaughn. He's like, come on, you want to do it, you want to tap out like that. There's really funny stuff like that in the film. No, I really dug the hell out of this movie.
I did too. Like, I wasn't sure what to get into it. I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it again because I love Dwayne Johnson. Mm-hmm. So like this is a movie he's producing, and he's also it has a cameo in it. So it's like I want this to do well. And I got what I wanted. I wanted it to be good, and I really liked it.
And one important thing about the movie too is the fact that like you don't have to be a follower of WWE or even know a lot about it or watch it to enjoy this movie.
No.
Don't. This is a really, really likable film.
It is, yeah. She's really likable. Her family is. I mean, because again, she is the star. It is her story, but it's about her family.
Yeah.
And the family is just so damn charming and really fun. And and Nick Frost is hilarious. He's really good. And I mean, just they're all really good. Mm-hmm. So I liked it.
I did too. I highly recommend this movie.
I do too.
Man, that's shit. That's the only movie I got this weekend. You could go to Patreon and get early access to the Lego Movie porn review on the Cinema Snob.
That's right, the Cinema Snob. Well, it's Patreon/.
Patreon.com/the Cinema Snob.
The Cinema Snob, you get early access to that and some other perks.
You could get early access to that because who doesn't want some early access to some Lego banging? That happened. Just another day at the office.
Exactly. Yeah, this is work. We're at work right now.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch, everyone, for watching. Follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob. Subscribe to us too at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.